Hey guys, what's up? It's the Culture Detective here, aka Enoch Lai, or in Cantonese, Lai Zino. And today is July 13th, and time now is 6:44 p.m. And tomorrow I will be leaving this place, and by this place I mean the US of A, and going back to Hong Kong, which is something that I'm incredibly excited about. And because of that, I would like to do a special video. I want to summarize my entire experience here so far. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is because a lot of you viewers, a lot of you subscribers may not have the interest in watching 50-something hours worth of vlog material on the main channel. So you know what? I'm gonna spare you your time and I'm going to do a summary video instead if you're really interested about my life here so far. And this is also going to be a serious summary. I'm going to edit the hell out of this video. Now, to start off, I would like to say that I came to USA because of 3 F's: filmmaking, friendship, and freedom. So, et voila, I'm here. Now, I left Hong Kong on December 25th, and that is basically the end of an era in my life. And from December 25th to December 31st, I went to the Washington State for a quick stayover at my aunt's house. And it was a fun, cozy time. I had fun, I rested, and it's all nice and dandy. Jesus Christ. Oh. But then the nightmare begins on December 31st when I and my mom and my aunt had arrived in LA. And right off the bat, it was already a disaster, and that's basically a bad omen. The flight got delayed, they lost my luggage, shout out to Delta Airlines, and it is a total shit show. Now, at that point, it was already kind of bad, but I had no idea. I had zero fucking clue how bad it is going to get for me in the following couple of months. It's been 1 hour and 43 minutes. I still can't find my black luggage. And then 2022 had begun. Let's enter January 1st. On that day, I moved into my first host family. This is not only the first time in my life I'm not living with my family, but also this is the first time in my life living with white people. So, yep, it is a shocking experience, to say the least. Alright, this is it. We're here. Fuck. Alright, this is where I'm going to be living in for the next 3 months. Can't believe it. On January 6th, my mom and my aunt had left LA, making me 100% alone in a city that I've never lived in before. Alright, time now is 10:07 p.m. on January 6th. Actually it's the 5th. It's the last, man. This is the last of the last of the last. The last farewell, the final farewell. And I've said goodbye to many people already. I'm completely alone now, and thus begin chapter 1. So let's start off by talking about the basics. Living. Now, if you follow my YouTube channel or my Twitter, you would know that I basically separate sections of my life here in the USA into arcs. There's arc 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Right now, I'm at arc 6. Now, I know that is a lot, but for the first 4 arcs, every single arc corresponds to the place I've lived in. Now, I consider myself extremely fucking unlucky because I had to move 3 times, not counting the first time from the Airbnb to the first host, but I actually have to move. So let's talk about my first host family. I lived there from January 1st to January 22nd. Not even a month had passed, and it's already so bad that the host kicked me out. But even if the host hadn't kicked me out, of her house, I would have asked to leave anyways. I was actually preparing to. So yeah, my experience at my first host family is absolutely awful. The place is dirty, it's smelly, it's stinky, the hygiene is bad, the food is terrible. So this is a host family thing. There is an agency called the ISF, the ISP, the International Student Placement, which is an agency that's responsible for placing international students into host family in California. And according to the rules of the ISP, the host family should provide me breakfast and dinner, not lunch. And apparently, according to the rules, I can't cook, but I can do some light cooking. Only light cooking. Depends on how you define that. So the dinners that the host gave me, the first host, are mostly dog shit, especially towards the end when her attitude towards me started to sour. She would basically buy a burger or a pizza and just yank it onto my plate like I'm a dog or something. And she doesn't cook me breakfast usually, unless it's the weekends, and the breakfasts are also usually dog shit, like Cheerios and frozen whatever, and it's always the same few things, and it really sucks bad. And I also wasn't allowed to cook at all, not even to boil water or to use the microwave or oven at all. I cannot store food. I can't store food at the fridge outside. I can't store food in my own room. There's a small fridge, but it's so goddamn small, it's basically useless. It is an awful experience. But the worst part of my experience at that place, Miriam is texting me. Alright, I ate some kiwis and I watched the movie for like 2 minutes, and guess what the fuck happened? As if it's not bad enough, the woman had to knock on my door and stop me and tell me that I can't eat fucking kiwis in this room. And then proceeded to talk to me about tomorrow's plans. Oh my fucking god. Let me have some fucking privacy, for fuck's sakes. I'm so fucking tired. Now is 3:22 p.m. on January 16th. I can't fucking do it, man. It's so bad. Like, I can't feel my fingers. Like, on the car. Oh my god, she's calling me. Fuck. The worst part of my experience at my first host family is the host herself. She is toxic. Whenever she speaks to me, she is very passive aggressive, and she even shows hints of racism from time to time. And she adds rules every single time we talk. She tells me not to do this, she tells me not to do that. I can't cook, I can't wash clothes in the washing machine in separate batches because she doesn't like it. I can't fucking rinse cans of soda because it wastes water. It's so awful. I can't throw masks in the rubbish bin at the bathroom, and I have to use a certain wipe, and I cannot use toilet paper to wipe the countertop at the bathroom beside the sink. And worst of all, apparently it's illegal to put peanut butter on waffles. So, it's awful. And at one point, she overheard me ranting, just like I'm doing right now. And she wrote an email to ISP to forcefully kick me out. So that was January 17th. That is the worst day of my life this year. And also the worst day I've experienced in my life in USA so far. It's awful, and I'm so glad I'm out of there. I'm so absolutely glad. So I opened the door, and she's there. She saw me trying to dry the towels. Put them from the washing machine to the drying machine. And she's like, "Oh, so you wasted my water to wash only one towel?" And I'm like, "No, it's 3 towels, not 1. And then, actually a little bit before that, she's like, Enoch. I told her it's Enoch. Enoch. Oh, you look like you're not ready to leave. Well, by 11 a.m., you better be out. You better be outside. Because they're gonna wait for you. You don't even know who's picking me up, bitch." Enoch.
Here's your coffee saucer. It's not to be used for whatever you ate at 1, 2 in the morning. this is what you use, okay? And usually a sandwich is not eaten with fork and knife, but to each their own. I know you have food in the room. I want it out. I want it in that cabinet. Please get it out.
Alright, time now is 8:43 p.m. on January 17th. Yeah, it's a bad thing that American houses are made out of wood. Heard me. And, she just texted me. She waited a whole, how many hours? But the host texted me, saying that, she is, kicking me out of the house. And before I left that place on January 22nd, there's a keys crisis, because to make things even worse, I accidentally lost the keys to the house, and they forced me to pay 100 and something US dollars, so that's cool. Say with me, if it can't get worse, it will get worse. I checked my pocket for keys, and it's not there. So yeah, I dropped my keys. I dropped it. I don't know where it went. Then on January 22nd, I moved to my second host family, which is super far away, but it is indeed a lot better. Even though I can still sense bits of passive aggressiveness from the host, the food is better.
So I'm sure they told you that we really weren't ready to have someone move in so quick. It's our house. So we did a lot of work yesterday, today, trying to just clear that room for you.
Bathroom here. They're nicer, the place is bigger, and the living environment is more comfortable, even though it is extremely dirty and the food still kind of sucks. And also the fact that the hosts sometimes hide food from me because I'm at a lower hierarchy than they are for some reason. Alright. This is fun. This is actually fun. Not gonna lie. Knock knock. Who's there? Ooh. But yeah, overall, it is a lot better. And then turns out they have to kick me out, but not because they hate me, but because the host's daughter is going to give birth to a child, and they have to use my bedroom as the baby room. So I need to leave. And that has led to the second most stressful period of time I've had in the USA so far, the housing crisis, where I basically almost became homeless. With only 1 week of time, I have to find a place to live. And all at the same time, simultaneously, my bank account at Bank of America, BOA, got fucking hacked for no reason at all. And for some reason, maybe it's because I was too late to respond to BOA, they basically fucking shut down my bank account and they banned me from doing business with them for the rest of my goddamn life. And so at that point, because my bank account is hacked and I don't have a bank statement, I can't rent a rental house or anything like that. Oh, Jesus Christ. So time now is 11:20. Today is probably the most intense day I've had in... Oh my god, this is it. This has to be it. This has to be it. Finally, a place to fucking live in. Of course not. Of course you can't live. Of course. I'm so fucking close. I just need a shelter. I just need a bed. I just need a place to live in. I just want to fucking live. I'm not asking for anything complicated. I'm not asking to be rich. I'm not asking 3-course meals. The only option I have was an Airbnb. So with only 2 days left, I immediately looked for Airbnbs, and the only goddamn Airbnb host that responded to me on Airbnb.com is a guy. And thus I moved into that Airbnb on March 6th. There we go. I found a place to live in. And without a doubt, this Airbnb is the 3rd place I've lived in, thus 3rd arc begins. And this is way better than the first 2 places I've lived in. Way better. Even though it is extremely goddamn expensive for some reason. There are 2 roommates, and individually, I have to pay $2,400 for some goddamn reason. It is ridiculously expensive. And also, popcorn ceiling, great, I'm gonna have cancer now, that's really cool. But aside from that, this place is legitimately pretty nice, it's comfortable. I finally have the entire room to myself without people holding me down, and I started to cook food myself, and I started to finally treat myself better in terms of food. The worst thing about this Airbnb, however, the absolute fucking worst, are the washing machines and drying machines, because this Airbnb is also an apartment. And the thing with American apartments is that sometimes they would put the washing machine and the drying machine outside of the apartment for the entire freaking block to use. They are public, and you have to put coins into the machine in order to use it. And I hated it. That was the most intense, the most psychologically damaging laundry session I've ever experienced in my life. And I didn't even know that laundry sessions can be goddamn psychologically damaging. But here I am. I had to run back and forth like a goddamn maniac, running out of breath, holding gigantic batches of dirty clothes back and forth, and it just drives me insane. It's I hate public washers and dryers. I'm so glad I have one now, which moves on to my next point. And then right. Okay, so there are 6 holes here, and then there are 5 holes. So altogether 11 quarters. I want to kill someone right now. It went that way. Like, one of this was right here, and the other one was right there. But the other 2 just went away. I lost it. Because of my fucking plastic bag, because I don't have a fucking bag to put my fucking coins in this fucking stupid ass fucking coin slot machine. It's smoking. Is it gonna fucking explode and kill all my clothes? I started cooking food all by myself because now I'm completely living alone. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, tea time, snacks, whatever, drinks. I have to handle all that all by myself. Holy shit, what the hell am I gonna do? So I started watching tons of YouTube videos on how to cook, and I started cooking. Let's do it. Hopefully I'm not doing anything wrong. Okay, this is weird. It's bleeding a lot. I went to Ralph's constantly every single week to buy food, and I started to monitor how much money I spend, what to eat. I made a whole page in my Google spreadsheet, basically planning what to eat 3 meals a day. And trust me, raw pork, raw chicken, spoiled beef, raw fish, moldy bread, moldy pie, sprouted potatoes, spoiled milk, ant-infested bread. I've tried it all. I have tried it all, and here I am, survived. I mean, yeah, sure, I have had multiple occasions of feeling sick from the food, but I've survived, and I've done a good job, so I'm proud of myself. Now, in the middle of March 13th and 14th, I started to get sad, and I started to feel lonely out of nowhere for some reason, and so I created this video game level system. So the reason why I'm like level 1, the basics, level 2 this, level 3 this, it's because of that day. Now anyways, because this Airbnb is too expensive and because I hate the laundry so much, I decided to move again. And finally, I moved again on April 4th to this apartment right now. And yeah, this apartment is not perfect. The property management of this apartment is kind of bad, and the Wi-Fi is absolutely awful. And you know, here's a secret. I think my roommates are a bit noisy sometimes. But without a doubt, this is the best place I've lived in so far. It's the smallest bedroom, but it is absolutely comfortable. It is nice, and it just feels like me, you know. This is my bed, you know. It's really nice. I mean, it's a mess, but you know, come on, cut me some slack here. I mean, we got a closet here. We got a main station. Look at that table. It's so small, but it still works. I'm a Hong Konger. I know how to work with small spaces. Okay, so there's that. So I'm living in this apartment now, and because this is the fourth place I've lived in, this is also the fourth arc number 4, Sawtell Arc, and subsequently arcs 5 and 6 are also in this apartment, obviously. Now we move on to level 2, friendship, which is the biggest, most important, and most mentally damaging level of it all. I mean, if you think that the level 1 basics, the college, the food, the shelter stuff are annoying, yes, they are annoying and frustrating, and very much life draining and soul sucking. But this one breaks my heart. So let's talk about Christianity for a moment here. Now, maybe it's news to you, but my parents are Christians. So when we went to LA and I lived in my first host family, my mom found a small church nearby on the Pico Boulevard. I call it the Pico Church. And we went to that church because a lot of people at that church speak Cantonese and Mandarin. And I speak Cantonese and a little Mandarin, so it's all good. So there's a Pico Church, and I've been to that Pico Church maybe 3 to 4 times. But very soon, in late January, my mom had found an even bigger church. Now this is because my mom's former neighbor's son is now living in LA, and he also goes to that church. So my mom is recommended, and then she recommended it to me that I should go to this church. Now on top of that, there's another connection. My grandma, who is also a Christian, has a friend, and her friend also used to go to this church. And this church is the one and only Chinatown Church, and I've been affiliated with this church ever since then. And this church is way bigger. It is way more Cantonese oriented, so a lot of Hong Kongers there. 98% of the people there are Hong Kongers, and it's pretty good. I've made several friends there. Now, even though I'm happy that I'm able to meet a lot of Hong Kongers there, I wouldn't say I am 100% super comfortable and being myself around them. I still hold back a little bit, but there are some legitimately nice people I've met at the Chinatown Church, most notably Jona, who is the leader of the college student fellowship of that church. And I went to Jona's place to play board games twice already. And also I have to mention the June 28th Pasadena day trip incident, which is not too long ago, just last month, when Jona, Jona's friend, and I went to the deep east side of LA to film a music video, which is a very interesting experience. I've made a separate vlog on it, so check that one out. Now let's get to the meat of the matter here. College. Yes, even though I've already studied in this college for over a year already, this is actually the first time I physically exist in the college, because my first year of this college is entirely online. So, of course, this is daunting, this is scary, and this is my first time actually physically existing in a college at the campus. Now, first of all, we have the winter semester, which is an optional semester that you can take, basically an extension of the fall, aka autumn semester. And this semester went from January 4th to early February. In this semester, I only took the psychology class and also another class, but the only on-ground course is Psychology 14, Abnormal Psychology. And it was a very interesting experience because there were originally 12 students, but at the height of the Omicron breakout, more and more students dropped, and I got exposed to COVID, and I fucking panicked. I was so scared. Just 2 weeks into living in LA, and guess what? Exposed to COVID, but thank God I didn't get COVID at the end. In fact, from ever since I came to USA, in fact, ever since COVID was a thing, I had never gotten it. I'm just that good at video games. Alright, just got off. Several things to talk about. Right, so, fuck. I shouldn't have gone to USA. I shouldn't have come here. I mean, look, I come here for 3 things, right? I don't even want to fucking touch it. I don't want to fucking touch anything. The string on the bus, this, I don't even want to touch it. But, yeah, even though I didn't make a single friend at that class, it was still kind of fun. Now, at around that point, we are introduced to 3 characters, JT, Potter, and Diana. First of all, we have JT, arguably the first person I've ever known in this Los Angeles era of my life. Because I actually knew JT before I even came to the USA. In mid-December of last year, I met JT at the agency that held a briefing for me and other people who are going to the USA to study. I met her there, and even though I and JT didn't remain super close friends, we still hung out a few times at the beginning. Okay, I think I found her. I found a woman who seems to have slightly dyed hair. I don't even know, I've only seen her for like 10 minutes. That should be her. A little bit later, we are introduced to Diana, who is a girl from Hong Kong Student Association who had been speaking to me on WhatsApp, who's very nice. And she introduced me to Potter, who is supposedly another guy from Hong Kong who studies film. Turns out, it's a fucking lie. He doesn't study film, he studies design. But I and Potter became close, and I and Potter met up mid-February. We had KFC together. I got to know him, and he's quite an interesting fellow. He is way older than me by like 3 years. He went to City U, and he had gone through the pain and the trauma of the socio-political movement that took place in Hong Kong in 2019. And I mean, all the young people of Hong Kong have experienced the pain and the trauma, but he had experienced even more because he was a uni student at that point. And he's a very interesting person, a lot of interesting philosophical concepts, a great taste in art, and I enjoyed talking to him. Whereas actually, Diana, on the other hand, didn't speak to me ever since. After I and Potter and Diana hung out at an Italian restaurant in Santa Monica downtown, we never met each other again because Diana found out that both I and Potter are absolute weirdos. And it is also around that point when I realized that I have missed the Uni Applications because I was planning to transfer to universities such as UCLA and USC and all that other U's, and I've completely missed them all because I am a baka. But that's also a good thing because now I have another year to prepare for it. Also, I mean, come on, you can't just expect me to go to college for like a few months and then leave again. So it's a good thing I get to stay for 1 more year, even though that caused me so much confusion. I had to call counselors, I have to go to workshops, I have to do so much research and ask so many questions. It was a total disaster in and of itself. Now we have the big part of my life, the spring semester, which goes from mid-February to mid-June. Now, I took 4 classes and 2 of them are on ground, Film 31 and Film 40, which are film production and film cinematography respectively. Let's talk about Film 31 for a moment. In that course, I've met several people, and 2 of which is Pepper and Thomas the Chinese dude. Now, you have probably heard me talk about Pepper one too many times already, because Pepper, listen up, she's a girl from Hong Kong, same age, same class, same major. What are the odds of that? Holy fuck. So on the day I met Pepper, of course, I was elated, I was delighted, I was excited, I was shocked, I was surprised, I was so happy. And I don't know anyone, I want to speak to the Hong Konger, have to find her. But yeah, I was just standing around, so I'm like, okay, man, shit, I have to start a conversation, I need to do it. Go, just walk to the professor, say something, or maybe not, I don't know. So I saw this East Asian man. I don't want to jump to conclusions, but he doesn't seem like a Korean. I don't know. So I overheard at my right a girl saying, "I'm from Hong Kong," and immediately I'm like, okay, excuse me. I sneaked up to that girl in the white dress. I kneeled a little bit because I was standing. The girl was sitting down, and the girl was speaking to another 2 people. And I was like, wait, excuse me, are you from Hong Kong too? And the girl looked at me, and he's like, oh yeah. And then I did this. I was like, yes. And my relationship with Pepper is unstable in a strange way. Now, I and Pepper are friends, sorta, but there have been a period of time in April, from late April to mid-May, when I started to realize Pepper may hate me. And that's because I try my best to open up, socialize, converse, but for some reason Pepper just ignores me. Pepper just acts really cold and indifferent towards me, and I started to think, hold on, maybe I'm being annoying. Maybe Pepper doesn't like me all that much and I'm just annoying her. So I started to not talk to Pepper, and I stopped talking to her at all for like 2 weeks. And it was rough, and I got really sad. And it was also at the same time when I started to get really anxious and sad about my lack of social life and my terrible social skills and how empty and lonely I am of a person. It's like once the whole apartment, shelter, food problems are over, now the problems have gone from external to internal. And then on top of that, we have Thomas the Chinese dude, who is a Chinese guy who is born in China but is orphaned and is adopted in Massachusetts and now has moved to LA to study here. And he is basically the third wheeler of the situation because he doesn't speak Cantonese, duh. He only speaks English and a bit of Mandarin. So given that I, Pepper, and Thomas are the only 3 East Asians of that class, we always hang out. But when Thomas shows up, I can't speak Cantonese to Pepper. I have to speak in English because I don't want to exclude him. I tried speaking Cantonese and Thomas was upset because of that. So it just complicated the whole situation, and it just made the whole situation 100 times more awkward between us 3. Especially given that at the end of April, on April 30th, I and Pepper went to Thomas's apartment to do a little group project thing, which is fine, but is also incredibly sad and awkward. Now we have the Film 40 class, which takes place every Saturday morning. I have to wake up super early every Saturday, sleeping for about 3 to 4 hours every single Saturday to head to this class. And this class is a totally different vibe.
You are. You cook here.
No, I'm not a grip.
Groups do cook here.
Smoking cigarettes and breakfast.
Probably.
Healthy apprehension.
I have no feeling.
I think my fucking driver's license, fucking driving freaks me out so much. A little cinematography.
Because aside from that Japanese girl who dropped after the first class, I am the only East Asian in that class. And for some reason, because of that, I feel less stress when I interact with people because I don't feel the motivation to make deep friends or anything. I just want to interact with people of other ethnicities for some reason. And I'm from Hong Kong, which is one of the most ethnically homogenous places in the world, so don't find me weird for finding this weird. But yeah, it is a totally different vibe from Film 31. The professor, who is from India, is absolutely amazing. My favorite professor from the college so far. His lectures are all super entertaining, and the way he teaches, it's so direct. It's strict, but it's good. I love it. I love it. Now, aside from these film classes, I also partake in the Scriptwriting Club, which also played a little bit of a role at the end of May, early June-ish. I started to go into this Scriptwriting Club, and in this club, there are literally no people other than me and Thomas. But there's also a Japanese girl by the name of Aika, who is kind of interesting because she's also simultaneously taking Film 31, but just another section. But she somehow is friends with Pepper for some reason, which is a total mystery. But anyways, in Film 40, I've made several friends at the end. Very nice harvest. We have Cristian, the Latino, Eric, the Filipino American, Ella, the white girl, Miles, the half British American, and Benny, the first generation Hungarian Bulgarian. Now, next up, I have to talk about the HKOS. Flashback to early April when I stood up to myself and go, you know what? There's a screening of Revolution of Our Times, which is a forbidden documentary, a political documentary that I've been dying to watch for a year now. It is screened in UCLA, so I went to UCLA by myself to watch Revolution of Our Times. Holy shit, it's real. And this screening is organized by HKOS, aka Hong Kong On Screen. Now, I've made one connection on that day, but it doesn't matter because he's gone now. But they have organized a few more screenings, and one of which is Lan Yu. So in the beginning of May, I went to a screening of Lan Yu, and on that day, I saw the guy sitting next to me, and I was like, "Are you a Hong Konger?" And he's like, "Yeah." That guy is John L. He is a film productions major studying in a master's degree program in USC, arguably the top-notch film school of the world, and is a Hong Konger. Holy shit! I don't even know that someone like him would exist. It blew me away. And because of this small interaction, I entered the world of HKOS because he somehow got connected to HKOS. I got connected to him, and at one point on June 12th, he invited me to an HKOS gathering, and I invited Pepper, which became the best day I've had in USA so far. It's so good. It's a very surreal night. Me, Pepper, John L, and 7 other random Hong Konger / Macanese young adults from all across Los Angeles is gathered in this random ass house in the middle of nowhere in South Pasadena, and to talk about filmmaking. And holy shit, I feel like I'm a part of X-Men. I feel like a different person after this hangout. This is amazing. And I also did a video on it, so check that one out. I did a video on everything that I've just talked about, so check all of those out. Now again, from late April to mid-May, I started to be really, really sad and anxious and upset and disappointed because of my terrible social life, to the point where I was just so desperate, really. But I guess things have turned for the better in June when I started to build up hope, especially when I have reconciled with Pepper. So yeah, at the end, even though I and Pepper are in a really awkward situation, we don't talk to each other, we are not passive aggressive, we don't even like argue, it just feels wrong. But I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna reconcile with her. So one day, I just DM'd her on Instagram. That was mid-May, I believe. That was late May, actually. And then after that, we have the Pepper alcohol shopping incident, which is connected with the well, which I'm going to talk about later. But after that, I and Pepper started to have an even better relationship solely because finally I can speak a lot of Cantonese in front of Pepper, and Pepper started to get a hold of what kind of person I am. And so I and Pepper got a lot closer and a lot friendlier to each other after that incident. And then on top of that, we have the HKOS incident, which is absolutely amazing, which I think strengthened the ties between me and Pepper as well. I talk about Pepper as if she's another country and I'm a country, and like we have diplomatic relationships. It's so goddamn formal and sophisticated. It's kind of hilarious. But I guess the ultimate takeaway is that everything's connected. LA is a huge city, but LA is also a tiny city. One time I went to Ralph's, and on the bus, I ran into Thomas. What the fuck? I went to this Culver City, West LA College fireworks thing with the Pico pastor, the pastor from the Pico Church, and Aika's there, the Japanese girl from Scriptwriting Club. Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm working for us.
Everything's connected. Everything's connected. Inside my college, Pepper's friends with Aika, Thomas, and me are in the Scriptwriting Club. Pepper's connected to a Taiwanese girl. Taiwanese girl's connected to the Japanese guy. And the Japanese guy's connected to Potter, out of all people. What the fuck? And if you go to Instagram, you'll realize that everything's connected. That Macanese dude that I've met in the HKOS Gathering, he also knows Aika for some goddamn reason. One of the co-founders of HKOS knows the president of the UCLA Hong Kong Student Association. And now I have to talk about the Hong Kong Student Association talent show at UCLA, where it's almost like a huge political event where the Hong Kong Student Associations of USC, UCLA, UCSB, and UCSD all joined together, called U852, for a joint talent show. Now, the entire talent show is a ruse. They all come here to LA to party, but it is still one of the most surreal nights I've experienced in LA so far, and it's a very interesting experience because I get to see how everything's connected. My church folk, Jona, is connected to his friend who studies in UCLA, who is connected with the president of the UCLA talent show. And then somehow Kelly, another girl I met from the Chinatown Church, showed me that one of the people from our fellowship is a Chinese guy whose girlfriend is from UCLA, who is also somehow affiliated with the Hong Kong Student Association of UCLA. Everything's connected. It's just immaculate. It's immaculate, okay? It is just immaculate. It's so immaculate that I gave the spider web of East Asians. It doesn't matter if it's East Asian American or straight up born and raised East Asian. It doesn't matter if it's Vietnamese, Hong Kong, or Taiwanese, Macanese, Chinese, Korean, Japanese, Mongolian, Central Asian, I don't know. But there's a spider web of those people, of our people, in my college right now. And it's not a gang, it's not a clique, it's a spider web. And I call it the EAS, which stands for East Asian Society. All right, let's talk about the Well. What is the Well? I will not tell you. Just think of it as a place that I go to frequently in order to ensure that I am financially stable. It is around before spring break when I and Pepper started to talk about the Well. And Pepper, being a nice girl that she is, got me into the Well. And again, I'm not going to talk too much about the Well. I'm not going to talk about what I do there, and you know, of course I fetch water from the well, and I make buckets, and I make ropes, and I try to build the stone and the bricks. You know, just believe in that. But there are Chinese co-workers, and the boss lady is Chinese, and she is really mean to me sometimes, but she's even meaner to other people. So that's a really interesting experience. But also, a little bit later in late May, there's a new coworker who is a Japanese girl. I don't know if she's born and raised Japanese or first generation Japanese, but given how fluent she is in English, I believe it's first generation. And it was really nice because at one point, even though I didn't have a shift on that day, I was like, you know what? Socialize. I can do it. So I asked for the Japanese girl's Instagram, and I also asked for my coworker's Instagram, and it was easy and it was amazing, and that's cool. But the reason why I went to the Well isn't only because of money. I mean, sure, it's because of money. I mean, I'm broke. My parents aren't really that rich. Food in LA is hellishly expensive, and as a film major, I make movies, and making movies is the equivalent of throwing cash into the sea. So yes, I need money, but also I want the experience. I want to know what it's like to do things. You know, back in the Hong Kong days, Natalie and Natalie and Leo and Pink and everyone else, they always got jobs and they have something to do, and Miriam and Zara, they all have something to do, and I'm just sitting by myself in my bedroom like a loser. And I'm like, man, I want to go out there and meet people and make money and do things. Well, I'm doing it now, bitch. Alright, level 4 is health. And around late April, I signed up to Amazon Prime, and in which I bought a bathroom scale because I was curious as to how much weight I've lost. I lost 13 pounds. Yeah, it's fucked up. My body was dying and decaying. So I formulated a plan where I basically look at the nutrition labels of every single piece of food I've ever eaten, and I basically try to reach 2,000 calories every single day. So I've been doing that, and guess what, bitch? I've gained 6 more pounds again. I'm playing my own body like a fiddle. But I hope the bathroom scale's not tricking me. It's right under my bed right now. You better not lie to me, bitch. But I'm gaining weight again, so that's really cool. And even though I haven't done a single freaking exercise in LA so far, no way. Hold on. What the fuck? It was 128.0. I believe one of the reasons why I lost so much weight is because of stress, but also because I walk a lot now. Since I don't have a car, I walk to places a lot. And I also stand up a lot now, so I'm just burning calories for no reason. Alright, finally we have level 5 short film. Oh, also by the way, I have to mention Nijiya Market. I constantly talk about this market. What is this market? Ever since I moved to this apartment, the closest Ralph's to me is actually kind of far away, and I have to take a bus there every time. So the alternative to that is a Japanese supermarket called Nijiya Market, which is only 15 minutes walk away into Sawtell, Japantown. I go there once a week, and it's awesome. It's an awesome market, a lot of hidden gems. I buy sushi there from time to time, and Japanese milk tea, mochi ice cream, you name it. But anyways, we have finally entered the final level of my game, and that is short film. Yeah, so after the final exams in the middle of June, I have one more thing to do, and that is to make my short film in order to apply for USC. Now, I almost gave up doing it because I couldn't find any actors. I have to find Hong Kongers who are old, who can speak fluent Cantonese and English, and are available, and doesn't have to do fucking surgery for some reason. I almost gave up because I tried so many methods and a lot of them don't work. And at the end, with the help of Eleanor, I have found a couple of actors. Now, who is Eleanor, you may ask? Eleanor is a woman I met on the first day when I went to the Pico Church, which I've already mentioned. But again, like I said, everything in LA is connected. It's a big city, but also a small city. Guess what? In the HKOS Gathering, she was there as well. Yes! Yes! What the fuck? I know. But with the help of Eleanor, I have found a couple of actors, and Cristian, remember him from my Film 40 class, he decided to help me make it. And yeah, it wasn't a perfect, smooth film-making experience. It could have been way better. But I did it, and it's such a relief. I can finally edit videos now. Edit my short film now. So that's cool. On July 6th, which I haven't gotten to in my vlogs yet, but I finally filmed it in Chinatown, and it was an awesome experience. And after that, I started to pack and prepare to leave. I'm literally packing my luggage over there. I'm cleaning up this part. I'm cleaning up things now, and I'm preparing to leave. And it got kind of confusing because I didn't know where to do the COVID test, the PCR test. And I don't know how to deal with the quarantine hotel proof. I don't know how to deal with this. I don't know how to deal with that. In fact, I haven't taken a plane all by myself before in my life. So, all right. Now let's conclude my experience in LA. I want to say that this experience is mind-altering. There's me before I came here, and there's me right now. I'm a different person now. I feel like a lot of things about me have changed. The main language I speak have changed. I speak a lot of English now. I mean, I still do a lot back then because I have no friends, but you know. But also, I have done a lot of first times here. First time Sour Patch Kids, first time In-N-Outs, first time Taco Bell. But also first time cooking, first time shaving my mustache, first time shopping at the supermarket all by myself, first time going to Target by myself, first time Amazon Prime, first time renting an apartment, first time opening a bank account all by myself, first time a lot of things. This gave me a lot of experience. But also, in my opinion, I just think I'm now braver of a person. Before I came to the USA, I just couldn't imagine myself speaking to another person who is not a Hong Konger. It doesn't matter if it's a white person, black person, Latino, an Asian American, another East Asian, another Asian in general, I couldn't even imagine. But now I'm doing it stress-free. I just say words and express meanings, communicate like a human being. Holy fucking shit, I'm actually doing it. I have a life now. Back then, I didn't have a life. I was a zombie. I wake up, eat, sleep. I didn't have a goal, but now I do. I have people around me. I'm living in a place, and it's a crazy feeling. I feel blessed, I feel satisfied, and I have a lot of people to thank. And the last thing I want to say is I don't live life anymore. Ever since I've left LA, ever since I've left Hong Kong, I don't live life. I play it like a game. So here I am now, a man. Even though I still haven't experienced shit, I don't have a driver's license, I don't have a girlfriend, for God's sake, but I feel like I've already experienced so much, it's just... Alright, so here are some of the people I would like to thank. I want to thank JT, fuck the host. I want to thank Jona, I want to thank Potter, I want to thank my psychology professor, really cool. I want to thank my Italian professor and my Indian professor for my film classes. I want to thank Pepper, thank Thomas. I want to thank Eric, Ella, Cristian. I want to thank the Airbnb host for saving my ass. I want to thank Jona and Kelly. I've already said Jona. I want to thank John L for inviting me to the HKOS Gathering. I want to thank Eleanor. I want to thank my coworkers at the Well. Yeah. And I want to thank Hana, who's also a coworker. And I want to thank the HKOS co-founder for co-founding such an amazing organization. And yeah, that's all. So thank you everyone. Thank you all for your support. I want to thank my parents for supporting me, giving me money to stay here. And yeah, just thank you to all my friends back at home. Cedric, Natalie, they don't even talk to me all that much anymore, but thank them anyways. And I will continue to live on. Los Angeles, you better watch out, because I'm going to continue living here on August 16th. Watch your ass. Thanks for watching.